Part three, our laser focused social media strategy. So far, does everybody understand we already have a set of reviews that can be used over and over again in the shape of social media posts for what we're sending the business immediately? Give me a yes if that makes sense. Because of what we did in the last section, we've already got a base layer. Does everybody understand that those posts don't go out of style? Give me a yes if so. Give me a yes if so. Those posts don't go out of style. We give them to the business to use, and about every 3 months, please pay attention to this. This is important. About every 3 months, you can go in and change the backgrounds in Review Burner and send them a new batch. Same set of reviews, unless you've been adding more reviews, so there's going to be different reviews, but they've got a new background now. Does everybody understand that? Like, we just do that every 3 months. I got a reminder on your phone, you do whatever, but we change those so that they've got those, right? Easy peasy. But the idea is we already have these base, but we want to build out some things because this is a restaurant. We want to build out some things that have the actual food in it. It would make sense that we don't just have reviews, we have actual pictures of food. You guys want to go build that together? Give me a yes if you want to see how we build this. For my folks that are in my agency level, you guys are also getting the Canva templates that we use for this. You can always go find your own templates to do this. But for my agency folks, you guys will be getting the Canva templates for these later. But let's go build this together so I can show you what we're doing. Okay? Can you guys see on your screen? I'm going to pull this out here real quick. I want to make sure we're good. Can you guys see on your screen right now some food, like a post with some food? I'm scrolling through here so you can see several different ones. But are you guys seeing like the actual stuff that we got here? Okay. So I want to show you, and once again, this is going to come back to what we did in the beginning, and it's going to start making sense why I'm so quick with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a folder. I want to make sure you guys can see this before I drag it to my other screen, but we're going to go back to the logo. So I've got my logo here, but I'm going to drag the logo off the screen. I just want everybody to understand that I'm dragging the logo from the other screen so that we've got our logo here. Everybody see that we've got the Rutledge logo on this now. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Okay. We're going to go to the next one. We got the Rutledge there. Going to go to the next one. We got the Rutledge there. Okay. Let's go to this next one. We've got the Rutledge right there. Let's go to this next one. I'm actually going to use my darker logo. And we've got the Rutledge there. So far, so good. Give me a yes if everybody understands. That's how we branded them really, really quick, right? Nothing fancy, you guys. That's the first thing. Now the next thing is, and I want you to understand. Right now, there's like 3 things in here food wise. Correct? Can everybody see that I've got my folder open, the Rutledge folder open? I got my food pics folder, and I got like 3 images. Ideally, guys, you guys are going to have like 100 images in there. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Ben, does every restaurant have 100 images in their Google My Business listings, right? Like over here. Like that's what I know some people are thinking. Does everybody have 100? Remember, I have criteria for who I work with. I usually don't work with a restaurant that has below 300 reviews, which typically means they're going to have lots and lots of pictures of their stuff. Okay? So just so you know, I like to have, before I get into this next little section where we're actually building these social posts like this, I like to have about 100 food and drink images. Now that can be drinks too, but that's what I like. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this folder again. Here's our food pics. I'm going to drag this off the screen so you guys can see this. But I'm just going to drag an image here. So you guys can see what we're doing. If you want to fancy it up a little bit, you can go to edit and you can go to, you can get into some of these filters. And I like to kind of get into, let me find kind of some of the stuff that I like dig here. I don't want anything here. I don't want black and white. But if you can get into like some of your like mist type stuff, you can get a good idea of what we're doing. Now, what you could also do here, and I want to be like really open with you guys, is you could always go in and like rotate this stuff. but I think that looks weird. But this is the stuff that I try, right? And you can do that. And so now we have some of our food. I can always double click and lift it up. We can always expand it so it's bigger. Things like that. So far, so good. I go to my next one. I'm just dragging a different image over. We've got our appetizers. I'm going to drag our appetizers here, but then I'm going to drag our appetizers up into this section. Does everybody see how good that looks? Like that's just, guys, that's a Google image. We go to the next one. We got this. Okay, I'm going to come back up to, we got our prime rib hash, I believe was the one that was this one. We're going to drag that there. We're going to drag this into this circle. Boom, we got that. Does this make sense? Okay, let's keep going. Let's go over to here. I'm going to use a drink picture this time. Remember, I'd have a lot of these. There's our drinks. I'm going to take this. We're going to drag it over the top. Position it a little better. Make it a little bigger. And we're going to take this to the back. Everybody see that? Cool. Let's go to this one. By the way, I do want you to look at this because this is important, and I don't think I mentioned in the beginning. I'm going to do 2 more folders. I'm going to do inside photos, and I'm going to do outside photos. So typically what I have for my restaurants are logo, drinks, food. I don't have to say pics here. Inside, outside. You don't have to put photos or pics, but those are the folders that I've got. Does everybody understand those 5 folders? Give me a yes. I don't think I quite mentioned all that before, but those are the 5 folders that I use. Okay? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Out of the gate, does this make sense? All I'm going to do next, guys, is I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to go duplicate. And I'm going to drag a different picture into this. So I'm going to go back to I can go to my drinks and I can drag a different picture into this. And now we've got our drink there. Does everybody see how this works? And do you understand why getting your images and all your assets early actually saves you a ton of time? So what I'm going to pull, you guys, what I'm going to pull with this, and I want to be very, very clear with what I do, depending on the package that a client selects from me, that is really going to depend on what I am going to end up doing for them. So I want you guys to understand, if I am putting together social media posts off of the reviews and I'm using Review Burner, how many of you think it would be easy to do 50 to 60 social posts? How many of you think it would be easy to do 60 to 70 social posts? Yeah, I can literally click a button and I can do 60 with, remember they have to have at least 300 reviews. So I've got with my $300 a month package, I've got that. How many of you think that with 100 food pics, I could put together another 60 social images, and these are food based, another 60 social images, another 60 stories very, very quickly, as long as I've got the food and drink downloaded to a folder and I've got those images ready? Give me a yes if you think that that's pretty easy with the process I showed you with the templates. Does this make sense? Yeah. All I'm doing, you guys, is I'm dragging the logo in. I'm changing the hours. Now, keep in mind, does everybody see the hours on this screen right now that you've got? Before you go duplicating this over and over and over again, make sure you change the logo, make sure you change the hours, okay? That it's actually your restaurant. But other than that, I'm just changing the images. How many of you think that if I've downloaded the images before, creating 60 social posts, creating 60 stories is not that hard to go with the already 60 reviews, 50, 60 reviews that we've already put together? Give me a yes if you think that this makes sense. Give me a yes if you think that this makes sense. Okay, nothing fancy, but there you go. So I want you guys to understand, is there a way to bulk create? There is, but it's almost just as easy to go in and do this because you want to, it's just dragging pictures. Does everybody understand? I know there's a way to bulk create this, but you're just dragging pictures here. This is not incredibly difficult. Okay? Got it? Give me a yes if this makes sense so far. So the idea is, and I want everybody to be very, very clear on this. Very, very clear on this before I get into it. Please listen to this point. It's not on your screen, but please listen to the point. I'll be covering it in the agency section, but listen to this point. By $300 a month, you get like 50 posts. You get 50 stories. You can use them anytime you want. For my $1,500 a month package, you're getting 120 social media posts. Like 50 of those are going to be reviews, and then you got 70 that are going to be like your food and drink. And the elite package will do 180 custom social media posts for you. Does everybody understand what we're providing and how it levels up? So 50, 120, 180. That's what we provide. I also teach the businesses, you rotate these images. We're not doing new stuff all the time. You just rotate them 2 a day. When you get to the end of the line, you rotate them. That's the idea. Okay, so before I move on, does this make sense to everybody so far as to how we're providing things, but without taking up too much of our time to provide those things? Okay, now here's the deal. If they have a social media person, it still costs them $1,500 a month. I'm just sending them the images. If they want me to run it, I'm going to put it into a system and I'm just letting a machine run it. Does everybody understand these? I'm not changing my pricing based on whether they're running the post or I'm running the post. Make sense? That's 180 images one time. Okay? One time. And I let them know these are things that we have created for you guys. The monthly price includes the option to use these posts and everything over and over again. If you stop using them, of course, the images are yours, the core food images, but the social post, you can't use those anymore. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Best times to post: before lunch, before dinner. Everybody got that? About an hour before lunch, about an hour before dinner. Now, that may change up a little bit depending on when their time is, but you guys get the idea. Okay? Cool. I provide a total of 180 images if you pay me $3,000 a month. I'll mix those up and change up some of the vibe of it every few months just for, good measure. Okay? Now, let me ask you a question. Some of you are having trouble with I give them all the images at once. But what are they being texted every week so that it feels like I'm providing new content every week? What are they being texted every week? That's the thing you got to keep in mind. Yes, I give them this base layer depending on the package, but also what are they getting every week so that it feels like I'm giving them new stuff? They're getting new review-based images and posts and stories from the Review Burner software. Give me a yes if this makes sense and you understand it doesn't feel like I'm just dumping things on them and then never giving them new. It feels like they're getting new every week. I'm just, depending on the package, giving them a base layer of things too. Okay. So does that everybody understand the review part and the social media part put together now and kind of how those pieces work together to form a good package? Give me a number one. It's so far so good. Does Review Burner? Yes, it texts them automatically. You set a time every week, it sends them new stuff every week. Okay? You don't really have to update the base layer of social images unless you want to, because you're getting new reviews from Review Burner every week. Okay, cool. So from here, let's talk, okay, which part do they lose the license to if they stop paying? I wouldn't worry so much about that, but the idea is if we created a post, that's their licensing is to use that. They own all the images of their food and drink. What you got to keep in mind is people will continue to pay you monthly because you're continually weekly delivering new images using Review Burner. Okay? You don't have to worry about the other stuff. All right, let's keep going. What post frequency do you recommend they use? Depends on the restaurant. but 2 times a day, every single day. 2 times a day, every single day, an hour before lunch, an hour before dinner is the standard. But, hours and things change for restaurants. Let's keep going.